how to write in winning answers in anthropology optional, and how to score maximum with that. Okay, so it is easier said than done, and we also have to go a bit deeper into certain ideas and insights as to how to come with flying colors in the anthropology optional. So there are several ideas I am sharing with you guys now in a particular fashion. Number one is the most important strategy is crash strategy that I have devised. So what we are going to do is we are doing an extraordinary idea called it is a compendium of all these ideas rather. So it is going to have a current dimension, relevance, annotations, structure and holism. So what it is, I mean here, it means here the answer content, the answer content that you are going to write in the exam hall should be having these 5 dimensions. One is the current dimension. The answer should have relevance to the particular topic or in the context of the particular theme of the question. Then there should be annotations on the on the theme based on the question's demand. What do you mean by annotations? I'll tell you. And there should be a proper structuring of the question, of the answer. And of course, the holistic approach, which is a hallmark of anthropology itself, but highly recommended for even every part of your journey, right? Even in your analysis of the subject, as well as your presentation, your interview, your personality test, and of course, without mentioning the answers in the exam hall. Okay, so I'm moving to the current thing. So you can see this photograph which is depicting the scenario after Manipur riots which have been witnessed recently in the state. It is part of the ethnic violence also. There is a concept called ethnicity and ethno-political movements in chapter 8 as well as chapter 9 in paper 2 in anthropology. Okay, we consider that as a part of tribal India, but in a larger scenario, having taking the broader context of the country, we have to know the ethnic background of certain violence or certain issues. So Manipur whatever that is happening in the recent times between Meiteis and the Adivasis. Okay, so that is going to have a great deal of impact on the other communities as well. It reflects the long pending demands of certain communities. The problems of the scheduled tribes, there is a almost 360-degree kind of a idea that is required for you to delve deeper into this question called ethnicity. What exactly is this ethnicity? What do you mean this by this tribe people and ethnicity? What are these ethno-political movements? In that regard, one of the current developments will require you to go to that particular topic very deeply. While you are studying, so while presenting the answer, this entire background will come handy. Okay, so the current relevance should always be there in the answer. Mostly the examiner may not ask, but we have to bring in that in at least some context. Okay, so one of the dimensions is current dimension. This is reflecting the different colors, the flag that is portrayed by or exhibited by the LGBT communities and queer, quant, gay communities. So these developments that are happening in the country reflect the social dimension and cultural dimension also with regarding to the question called marriage. So we have a particular topic called marriage in paper 1, 2.3. So we need to know this anthropological dimension of marriage. So every time we can't just go by our known knowledge about marriage, okay, or for that matter any developments that are happening in the society, especially with respect to these developments, these kinds of developments, LGBTs, gay communities, same-sex marriages. So the society views these marriages in one way, but the anthropologists view that in a different way. So we need to know the anthropological background and link it to the current thing and deliver that in the exam. So the current dimension is always going to fetch you extraordinary marks. So one dimension is done. Then what about the next one, that is relevance. Relevance क्या चीज़ होती है? That is, in the sense the entire answer content that you are going to write should be highly relevant. In the sense your content, please understand this word, your content should be relevant to the context. So three words are having this extraordinary relationship like a triangle. Your content should be relevant to the context. So most students know the content. Okay, we are not having any dearth of content in the market also. We have, in fact, we have informational overload in this current scenario, right? The students are bombarded with knowledge. But this is again a blessing in disguise. Sometimes it becomes a necessary, unnecessary burden on the student mind, because it ज़्यादा content हो भी गया तो आप relevance को नहीं पकड़ पाते हैं. And many students will not be able to appreciate the context of the question. I also call this as theme of the question or the demand of the question. You may actually call it any which way, but the idea is same. The central moot point or the idea on which the examiner is posing the question, the central idea. So the central idea many students miss, unfortunately, because in these several years of my experience in evaluating the answer sheets of the students, okay, what I notice is many students deviate from the core of this, that is the central theme of the question. So I call it as also context. So if this context is understood, then your answer should be relevant. What is that answer? Of course, it is to be also called as content. So answer should be tailor-made to the content, not how much you know, but what exactly matters there, how much is relevant for that particular topic. I was talking about annotation. So what do you mean by annotation? The answer should be very clearly annotated with so many inputs. Not just these inputs, of course, you may be thinking it is content only, the points only, but beyond the points, we should also be talking about the inputs like diagrams, flow charts, examples, then case studies. So more or less the case studies may include all of them. For example, case study can be an example also. An example can be a case study also. Sometimes the answer can be written even without a case study also. But we should be very clear on what we are writing. And if there is a need to express better the answer, we can go for a flow chart. For example, certain topics in tribal India, certain topics in social cultural anthropology need a great deal of flow charts. So try to be innovative here. If you want, we will also supply certain flow charts while teaching the topic in the class. Based on that, I encourage the students to improvise on these flow charts on their own. So यहाँ पे बहुत ज़बरदस्त improvement हो सकता है. And there are fixed diagrams in the form of skull diagrams. Certain times you have to draw the skulls in physical anthropology. Sometimes you have to draw maybe these tools in the Paleolithic, Neolithic, etc. in the archaeology. Okay, there are even in physical anthropology, of course, the different body parts like your spine or the spinal cord. Then there are several others, like for example, you may be required to write about the pelvis or draw on the pelvis, etc., which again is, if relevant to the exam, that will be better. Relevant to the answer, that will be better. Okay, so annotation to ek ho gaya. Then structure. Most important thing in this entire thing is the structuring of answer. Your answer, I told you, and everything may not be in an order just for the sake of this right? Crash strategy, I've just devised this. The structure should always be simple. There should be a thumb rule that the structure should be simple. Simple means every answer should have 3 components. One should be the introduction. The second is body. The third is conclusion. Usually students follow the first two. Usually 90% of the cases students follow the first two points in the structure or the components in the structure of an answer, but the third one, it is very difficult thing for them. Many students even ask me, sir, what is conclusion? How to conclude? I don't know. Many times I don't even have time to conclude. Before I conclude, I jump to the next question. So यहाँ बहुत दिक्कत होती है. You will start losing marks here. Just like as I told you earlier also, whenever I am saying something to do it, you have to think in the reverse also. When you are not doing, you are losing the marks. People who have already given the exams, you can just check with my inputs. Okay, what was your presentation when it comes to this annotation, when it comes to the structure, when it comes to the content, the relevance, all these things, whether you have given the current dimension. Okay? So it should be very simply structured, and every time you should be able to have a rough structure, a rough क्या बोलते हैं ना, there is also outline before you actually attempt the answer. If you develop this regularly, on a regular basis, you can score excellently well in the exam. Outline बनाना practice करना पड़ता है आपको. Just like many people think that outline only it is necessary for essay. By the way, I also teach essay, I specialize in teaching essay as well. So many scholars and teachers and everybody speak about essay also while they speak out about essay strategy. They might advise you to go for an outline also. Before you write, develop an outline. Wonderful, that is also superb. But outline is needed for even anthropology answers. So I'll teach you there in an extraordinary manner, with more focus in the future, how to develop this outline, etc. What is the exact क्या बोलते हैं ना, the details related to that. Okay, compulsorily the structure should be simple. It should have the three parts. Then you should, before writing, have a rough outline. Then you can structure your answer very well. The structure should also contain the inputs, what I told you earlier. The inputs, all the inputs, that is annotations, diagrams, charts, flow charts, examples, case studies. So general body plus these kinds of inputs and annotations will make the structure of an answer very versatile and original. Okay guys, yeah. Then the last but not the least in the crash strategy is holism. One of the most extraordinarily क्या बोलते हैं ना, right, extraordinary strategy, rather part of the answer that should be considered by the students, or rather missed by the students. Many students miss this holism, holistic answer writing. So there is a great deal of secret involved in it. At the moment it is very क्या बोलते हैं premature for me to reveal this, but try to be holistic in your answer. So what is that secret? I can only divulge in person, so that it can't be like used by everybody. It is not easy also for everyone to actually deal with this. So what is that? You can ask me when you meet me personally, right? So holism में क्या होते हैं भाई? See, I have given the dial of a clock or something where there is this 0 to 360 degrees. This 0 itself will become 360 degrees. So it is a 360 degrees approach. So your answer should contain multi-dimensional viewpoints. So many dimensions should be there as part of your answer. Just like the way we take a holistic scenario of a situation as an administrator of tomorrow. Similarly, anthropologists also have this habit of looking at things from a 360 degree viewpoint. That's called holistic or integrated approach. Holistic approach you should also invoke in your answers, such that you can make your answer something like a guldasta. मैं अक्सर क्लास में भी बोलता हूँ सो आपका आंसर कैसा होना चाहिए, एक गुलदस्ते की तरह होना चाहिए, और गुलदस्ते में सेवरल फ्लावर्स होने चाहिए, कई फ्लावर्स होने चाहिए. So all these flowers are nothing but the inputs of this answer plus the different dimensions of the topic. Okay, so that is an extraordinary thing which will fetch you, like your quantum jump will be 20 to 30%. Your marks will jump 20 to 30% than the core, the other content, if you add holism to your answer. Okay, having said that, I will conclude now. Thank you very much for listening to my advice patiently, and we will be in touch regularly. We will be dealing in anthropology classes all these dimensions detailedly. And thank you very much. Before you go, like, comment and share the videos maximum, and subscribe to our channel. Thank you very much.